News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
As head of Americans for Tax Reform since 1986, Grover Norquist has transformed a single issue, preventing tax hikes, into one of the key platforms of the Republican Party. His biggest coup was getting more than 270 members of Congress and nearly all of the 2012 Republican presidential primary candidates to sign a pledge promising never to vote to raise taxes. But some opponents say the pledge may be hindering a solution to America's debt crisis. The Joint Congressional Committee on Deficit Reduction has just 3 days to reach a deal eliminating at least $1.2 trillion from the nation's debt using some combination of cutting, spending, and raising taxes. The person at the heart of those negotiations, and some would say the person responsible for the deadlock, is neither a member of Congress nor the holder of any public office. He's a lobbyist and a conservative activist named Grover Norquist, who over the years has gotten virtually every Republican congressman and senator to sign an oath called the Pledge. It's a promise that they will never, under any circumstances, vote to raise taxes on anyone. And so far, Grover Norquist has held them to it, controlling 279 votes, including the Speaker of the House, the Senate Minority Leader, and all 6 Republican members of the Joint Committee on Deficit Reduction. A lot of people think he's the most powerful man in Washington. This morning, markets around the world are reacting to the news that the Deficit Reduction Super Committee has failed to reach an agreement on $1.2 trillion in spending cuts. Now the question remains, how will Washington deal with the nation's $15 trillion debt? The Defense Secretary warned automatic cuts could tear a seam in the nation's defense. The solution, Democrats insist, must include raising taxes on the rich. Republicans insist Medicare cuts don't have to hurt the elderly. Congress still needs to deal with extending unemployment, a big cut for Medicare doctors, and the expiring payroll tax break, all before the end of this year. President Obama said this morning that he would veto any effort by lawmakers to repeal a requirement for $1 trillion in automatic spending cuts to be triggered after the Super Committee fails to agree on terms to save the country at least $1.2 trillion over the next 10 years. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.